A harsh winter day in the castle courtyard. Snow falls, painting the stone in a thick blanket of white. Inside the castle, Queen Elizabeth sits by the window, her pale face a stark contrast against the dark stone. Lost in thought as she sews, her finger is pricked, and 3 drops of blood fall onto the snow-covered courtyard. I wish for a daughter with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony, she whispers, a silent vow echoing in the wintry air. In the castle bedroom, Queen Elizabeth lies in state, her beauty untouched by death. Grief etches deep lines on King Richard's face as he cradles their newborn daughter, Snow White. He studies the infant's features, a silent promise to fulfill his queen's dying wish. A year passes, the seasons turning in somber procession. King Richard stands at the altar, remarrying under the watchful eyes of his court. His new wife, Queen Isabella, radiates beauty, yet her eyes betray a chilling vanity. In the Queen's chamber, Queen Isabella's regal figure stands before a magic mirror. Her reflection shimmers in the depths as she poses the timeless question, "Mirror, mirror, on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror responds with unwavering affirmation, "You, my queen, are fairest of them all." A pleased smile graces Queen Isabella's lips, her vanity momentarily sated by the mirror's decree. Years have passed, and Snow White, now 16, stands in the Queen's chamber, her radiant beauty filling the space. Queen Isabella, regal and imposing, her face a mask of anticipation and anxiety, approaches the ornate mirror. Her voice rings with a mix of hope and dread as she poses her familiar question. "Mirror, mirror, on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The enchanted mirror shimmers, and a voice echoes through the chamber. "Snow White is now 1,000 times fairer than you." The Queen's silence is deafening, her expression unreadable as the mirror's words hang heavy in the air. In the heart of the ancient forest, Queen Isabella's commanding gesture silences the rustling leaves. Her voice, sharp and cold, echoes among the trees as she delivers her decree. "Take Snow White into the forest and kill her." Huntsman Thomas, his face a mask of inner turmoil, bows his head, the reluctant agreement heavy on his shoulders. He leads Snow White deeper into the woods, each step a betrayal, each shadow a harbinger of dread. The forest grows darker, the ancient trees looming like silent witnesses to the unfolding tragedy. Unspoken fear permeates the air as they venture further, the innocence of Snow White contrasting sharply with the grim purpose of the huntsman. In the forest clearing, dappled sunlight catches the steel of Thomas's drawn dagger, a deadly promise hanging in the air. Snow White collapses to her knees, her face streaked with tears as she begs for mercy. Thomas's resolve wavers, his eyes reflecting the innocent plea before him. His hand trembles, the weight of the Queen's command too heavy to bear, and he lowers the dagger. "Run, child. Hide. Never return." Thomas commands, his voice a desperate plea against the encroaching darkness. In the encroaching dusk, Snow White, her face etched with terror, stumbles blindly through the dense, unforgiving forest. Each rustle of leaves, each snap of a twig, amplifies her fear as shadows lengthen and twist around her. Through the tangled trees, a small flickering light offers a beacon of hope in the overwhelming darkness. She reaches a humble cottage, its warm glow promising sanctuary from the menacing woods. Snow White pushes open the wooden door, stepping into the dwarf's quaint cottage, a haven of miniature charm. Her gaze sweeps over the meticulously arranged furniture, each piece perfectly scaled down. 7 small beds stand in a neat row, promising rest to weary travelers. Driven by gnawing hunger, she approaches the table, sampling small portions from each of the 7 plates. Exhaustion overwhelms her as she succumbs to sleep on the 7th bed, finding solace in the tiny dwelling. Weary after a long day at the gem mine, the 7 dwarfs trudge towards their cozy cottage, their silhouettes outlined against the twilight. Doc, grumpy, happy, sleepy, bashful, sneezy, and dopey push open the door, their faces etched with exhaustion. The dwarfs enter, and their eyes widen in astonishment, their weariness instantly forgotten. An unexpected sight greets them. Filling the small space with an ethereal glow, Snow White sleeps peacefully. As the narrator whispers, they find Snow White asleep in their cottage. Sunlight floods the dwarf's humble cottage, motes of dust swirling in the golden beams. Snow White sits at the worn wooden table, her earnest voice filling the room as she recounts her harrowing tale. The 7 dwarfs listen intently, their faces etched with worry and sympathy for the young princess. Doc, ever the cautious one, warns with a furrowed brow, "Never open the door to strangers." An unspoken offer hangs in the air. Safety and shelter in exchange for warmth and care. Snow White looks at them with a grateful smile. In the opulent queen's chamber, Queen Isabella stands before her ornate mirror, its surface shimmering. Rich fabrics and gleaming gold adorn the room, symbols of her supreme power. With regal poise, she commands, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror responds, its voice echoing through the chamber. "Snow White, living with the 7 dwarfs, is still the fairest of them all." A visible wave of fury washes over the queen, her eyes blazing with envy and malice. In the dense forest, Queen Isabella, disguised as a hunched old peddler woman, advances with sinister purpose towards the dwarf's cottage. A beautiful silk ribbon gleams in her wrinkled hand, a stark contrast to her deceitful intentions. Snow White, her face radiant with innocent trust, opens the cottage door, unknowingly inviting danger into her haven. The queen's sinister smile remains hidden as she swiftly ties the ribbon around Snow White's waist. Snow White gasps, her eyes widening in surprise and dawning pain as the queen's trap springs shut. With a soft thud, Snow White collapses onto the floor, the vibrant ribbon now a symbol of betrayal and lost innocence. The dwarfs, faces etched with worry, burst through the doorway of their cozy cottage. They rush to Snow White's side, finding her still unconscious and pale. With deft hands, they quickly cut the ribbon binding her chest, a desperate act of rescue. Snow White gasps, her eyes fluttering open, a sign of life returning. "We warned you about opening the door, Snow White." "You must be more careful," the dwarfs exclaim, their voices a mix of relief and admonishment. Queen Isabella, cloaked as a humble farmer's wife, treads through the forest, her purpose concealed. She holds out a poisoned apple, its two-toned skin a symbol of deception, offering false assurance to Snow White. Isabella bites into the white side, a calculated move to earn trust, her eyes fixed on Snow White. Snow White succumbs to temptation, biting into the crimson side. A moment later, she collapses, innocence betrayed in the heart of the forest. Upon a mountainside, the dwarfs, their faces a canvas of sorrow, carefully lay Snow White within a crystal coffin. The coffin rests, catching the gentle caress of sunlight, as if nature itself offers a tender farewell. From the depths of the forest, creatures emerge, drawn by an unspoken grief, their eyes mirroring the dwarf's lament. A symphony of mourning rises from the gathering, a collective sigh echoing through the trees. The mountainside becomes a sanctuary of sorrow, where the forest weeps for the lost princess. Against the backdrop of a majestic mountainside, Prince William rides along a winding path, his figure a silhouette against the vast landscape. His eyes fix on a clearing where Snow White lies in a crystal coffin, an ethereal vision amidst the rough terrain, guarded by the solemn 7 dwarves. Drawn by her otherworldly beauty, the prince dismounts, his gaze never leaving her serene face. With gentle words and earnest promises, Prince William persuades the dwarfs to relinquish the coffin, his intentions pure and his heart captivated.